The Rad. Fast, sweet, spicy at times, and a whole bunch of fun.
The Rad is the 7th and final event in the Life Time Grand Prix, North America's premier off-road racing series, where $250,000 is on tap for 70 racers competing in this series. Like all the Lifetime events, the races are also open to the rest of us. And this year there are 3 new courses, 3 distances. Today, we're out here previewing the longest course, Stubborn Delores, at 114 miles and more than 10,000 feet of elevation gain. There's also the middle distance Antelope and the shorter Frijole distance. All 3 courses start and finish on a similar track, so you can get a sense of what all the courses are like from watching this video. We've got 3 Grand Prix racers out here joining us today: Deanna Males, Carolyn Torrey, and Alexi Vermeulen, along with Alexi's sidekick, Sir Willie the Wiener, and 2 guys from Lifetime, Kimo Seymour and Ryan Cross, joining us as we check out what is in store for all of us at the Rad outside Trinidad. All 3 courses feature the same out and back for the start and finish. And you're almost immediately on the dirt, heading out towards here, Trinidad Lake Stake Park, where the road turns quickly to a pretty rowdy, rough 2-track, like a Jeep track, some big rocks, heads up through this section. Don't get caught out by the scenery. Next, we lead on to a short but pretty steep paved climb. Remember that, because you're gonna hit it on the way back in. That's about 10 miles on the way out, and of course 10 miles to go as you're coming back in. From Trinidad Lake, the Stubborn Delores long course, the Grand Prix course, heads up into the backcountry, into the Sangre de Cristos, and towards the Spanish Peaks. There's all sorts of surfaces on the road up to the big loop. Nice smooth pavement, some pretty well groomed gravel, some deep sand. Depending on conditions, of course, on race day, could be muddy. We hit some of that today. All sorts of different textures. Got pavement, sand, and mud and rocks.
Yeah, you just gotta like wiggle your body through all the different materials.
The course generally trends upwards all the way until roughly the high point. At mile 65, it tops out at nearly 9,000 feet. On the way there, you want to be with a group. Most of the climbs are draftable. There's some steeper kicker bits towards the top, but for the most part, the gradient's in, the 4 to 5 to 6%. So if you've got friends to ride with, new or old, that's a good thing on a course like the Rad.
You're a little too strong. Now we're at the high point of the course, just under 9,000 feet. Got the Spanish Peaks peeking out a bit from the clouds. Got some Colorado wet sunshine coming down. It's a full buffet sampler of all the things, all the conditions, all the surfaces.
Like Sir Willie the Wiener, keep your head up on the descents. Most of them are fairly straightforward, smooth, easy to navigate, but occasionally there's a sharp corner that will sneak up on you. Here, your Garmin or your Wahoo is your friend if you can see sharp corners coming out, and of course, call things out to those you're riding with. The roads are open, so stay to the right of the road, even though there's hardly any traffic out here. Occasionally there is some, so keep it to the right, especially on these blind corners. How was that descent?
Rad.
I asked Carolyn and Deanna and Alexi what they thought was the right tire for this course.
I think you can get away with something faster and narrower for sure, like a 38. I think you could even potentially run in slicks depending on the road conditions, but yeah, it's fast and there's not a whole lot that can mess you up out there. Other than a few sharp turns, which got me.
Right now, how many months out? 3-4 months out. I was very happy with the tires I was on, just kind of a semi-slick with little smooth patch down the middle and some tread on the sides. This is definitely a course I would look at running a slick. It's that fast, but you definitely have to baby some of those corners. Just all of a sudden come around and it ends, and you end up going into a bush, and that is not conducive to going fast and getting the finish line first. So maybe play around like slick rear, less like a little like slick rear and a little more traction on the front.
Yeah, it kind of depends on like recent weather. Sure. But I think the trend is like wider and lower pressure. So today I rode 38s though, which is pretty narrow, with like a slicker section down the middle, knobs on the sides. But I would probably lean towards like a similar style tire, just a wider volume, like bigger volume.
We're riding this in early May, and we got all the weather. We had good heat, good sunshine, some rain, and even a little bit of hail. The same could happen on race day in fall. So as always, bring all the things, at least to the start of the race, then you can pick and choose what you want to take on race day. It's always a good idea to have a shell when you're going up high in Colorado. To wear a hydration pack or to not wear a hydration pack? That is the question.
Guess I'd have to look at the aid station situation, but I think it's going to be fast and important to stay with other people with the wind and just long flat sections. So I would probably bring a hydration pack just to be able to keep rolling with your group.
Hydration pack or no hydration pack?
I mean, it's a hard one. I think this race is going to be insanely fast, and I don't think there will be any feed zones at the front of the race, so I will probably be running a Camelback and 2 big bottles.
If you're watching this asking yourself where the heck is Trinidad, it is on the Colorado-New Mexico border, just on the north side of Raton Pass, nestled up against the Sangre de Cristos. It's about 3 hours from Denver, about 3.5 hours from Albuquerque, and once you're out here, you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere in a positive way. If you're wondering how you can check out Trinidad outside of the rad, pop on over to the Visitor Center and pick up your Gravel Adventure Field Guide made by my man Juan de la Roca, which, as the name suggests, is a guide to lots of rides around the area.
Lifetime doesn't really want this to get out, but I'll say it quietly while Ryan and Kimo aren't looking. I mean, this course is created by Willie. We were following his snoot the whole day, and led us the wrong way a couple times, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool when you guys come race it.
It was fun. It was super fast, beautiful, really smooth roads most of the way, with some just amazing views out in the middle of nowhere. Didn't see really any cars or any other people, which was super cool.
I think it's great. Yeah, there's a lot of miles to separate some groups, but a lot of places where you want to stick together. I thought generally the roads were pretty smooth at points. Get a lot of fast sections, and then kind of as you're entering the second part of the loop, there's some like super rowdy downhill sections, and then it kind of leads to like flat sort of downhill really fast areas. So I think it'll be like a really good course and like a super fast day on the bike.
Yeah, I mean, I think this course has a lot of places it can split up. One thing I've kind of watched just on the weather is the wind can kind of come up out of nowhere. So I think you kind of have those climbs wear on you. It's 100 miles, 111 miles, and you come over the top and have a windy section and it'll go kaboom.
There are 4 elements I love about gravel racing. There's the event itself. There's getting to explore the natural world, often in places you've never been before. There's exploring the town. Often these gravel races are held in small towns, and Trinidad, the host of the rad, is no exception. It's a fun, funky town, lots of good local businesses worth checking out and spending the full weekend down here. And the 4th thing, of course, is the camaraderie. It's getting to hang out with people during the event, getting to explore nature with them, and then also getting to check out the town of Trinidad. The rad is September 30th. I hope to see you here in Trinidad.
basmati rice, brown sugar. What else? Gotta keep the pop running. Organic applesauce, yams, lemon juice, sea salt.
Can't have Willy Wonka down here in the backcountry.